Oh, but you see, they released the trailer after we'd already recorded the episode. And that's my failsafe. That there was my failsafe because
who knows what it'll be this week?
We're recording this on the 8th of November, and today the Spider-Man No Way Home, a first official poster. I'm like, surely it's not the first, and it is. The one that I thought was a poster was the Empire magazine cover.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh my god, you're right. This is the first official poster. First official poster's out. It's still like, we know that you know some shit, but we're not giving you anything except a Defoe confirmation. Like, we already showed you a pumpkin bomb. There he is flying away up in the background. Can't deny. Got a little geeky chub.
Can't deny. And a lightning strike.
Lightning strike and sandstorm in the background.
Ooh.
And have you seen the face in the bottom corner?
Ooh, no. Is it like the face on Mars?
It seems very deliberate. So at the bottom of the poster, hi everybody, Big Damn Cast. We've got like all these sparks and stuff at the bottom, like digitally kind of motion blur, and then you've got that.
That's not a face, mate. That's just artifacting. That's not a face, mate. It's not a face.
It seems to me like one of those smug, they'll catch it afterwards sort of like things to sort of go, mate. There's a fifth person.
That's what you call it. That's the
it's Mephisto, obviously.
Yeah,
everything's Mephisto.
It's that thing that humans do where they see patterns in things that aren't.
We were talking about Lucy and I were talking about this the other night. How amazing it is. We were looking at the curtains in the bedroom, and the top of the rail looked like a perfect profile, chin, lips, nose, and Bridget. But isn't it weird how the human brain does? Because half your brain.
A word for it. What's the word for it?
Big Damn Cast, I think.
No, where's Big Damn Cast?
Half your brain does it to
pareidolia.
Pareidolia. Half your brain does it to reassure you that the mysterious shape. Don't worry, it's probably a person, which should make you feel safe. But then the right half of your brain goes, wait, there's a person in my room behind my door? And it's such a weird survival mechanism that fucks with you. It's so strange. But yeah, there is that. Anyway, hi, I'm Chris. Why didn't you stop Thanos or get involved in any world wars, Johnson?
And I am inside the Earth waiting to be born.
You are? Like, who knew we were going to watch a Kill the Moon sequel this
week? Who knew?
Or dared to dream.
Oh, speaking of Kill the Moon, did you get the trailer for Moonfall?
No, but hit me up with that in just a second. Trailer is our segue, and we'll do that, and then we'll do the email. So Spider-Man trailer might have come out by the time this comes out. If we're not talking about it, don't fucking worry about it. We'll talk about it next time. Reports as of today say that the trailer is coming out either today or tomorrow or on the 11th. I'm not waiting around for this bullshit. Like, we'll talk about it when we talk about it. But Matt saw the trailer for Moonfall, apparently. This is the... Is it Roland Emmerich?
It is Roland Emmerich.
Of course it's fucking Roland Emmerich. This is the moon's out of whack and it's going to crash into the Earth film.
Well, also the moon is also some kind of weird ship that's full of, like, nanite.
Oh, he's doing aliens as well.
Thing.
Okay. All right. So we're getting 2012 and Independence Day Roland Emmerich here.
Yeah.
Roland Emmerich into one.
It's like moon falling into Earth, and also the moon is a hollow spaceship weapon thing, and also Patrick Wilson is in it doing his Patrick Wilson thing. I like Patrick Wilson.
I love Patrick Wilson.
For that.
Wow.
What's he call it from Game of Thrones? Isn't it?
Narrow it down.
John Bradley.
Which one's that
the
one?
Fat one.
Which one?
Oh, I've never been in a fight.
Oh, him.
Yeah. Oh, we're inside the moon. That's the best sentence I've ever heard.
Is that a line in the trailer?
That's a line in the trailer.
That's insane.
Yeah.
He's apparently lovely. He used to go to the...
I have no doubt.
The cinema that our better halves worked at a couple of times.
I have no doubt he's
Lucy
lovely.
encountered him and said he was bloody lovely. And here we are, not remembering his character's name, and just calling him one of the fat ones from Game of Thrones.
Sam.
Was that his name? I always thought that was a pet name for him, because it was like a Samwise Gamgee kind of thing to Kit Harington
Samuel
Frodo.
Tower.
See, that even sounds like Samwise Gamgee.
Exactly.
Bloody hell, we'll be getting back to Kit Harington as well.
We will.
Moonfall. Is that your most anticipated movie of
It
2022
might
so
be,
far?
you know, it looks fucking stupid.
Didn't this one was meant to come out a while back, right?
Probably, yeah.
Then I got caught in a bidding war for streaming.
Let's see if I can find a proper synopsis of it, because...
Halle Berry's in it.
Halle Berry is in it. Patrick
Total
Wilson's in it.
guess. Is Gerard Butler involved?
No, you're thinking of Geo stuff.
Oh shit! Yes.
Which I have seen.
Which is what, a similar premise, or
That
that one is basically a tornado full of lightning and also rain is
Geostorm
the bad weather's teamed up or something.
Geostorm is
I hate, and in case you can't tell, I hate end of the world movies that are just like disaster films. I think they're so boring.
Geostorm is, we built a satellite that controls the weather on Earth, but someone's hijacked it and they're building a big storm.
Oh god.
But he's also in Greenland.
Right. And
Oh no, that's just where he is. No. Greenland is it's an Amazon original. It's him and Morena Baccarin, and he's like,
oh yeah, they learn that there's like a safe haven.
It's
The
the
trailers
asteroid
marketed
thing, yeah.
it as like, there is a place where you will be. Wait, hang on. Is that called Greenland?
yeah.
That's a different movie. But it's also an end of the world scenario with Gerard Butler in.
Oh yeah.
Fucking hell. Has Gerard Butler ever been in a movie that has remained a movie people say is a good film?
Here we go. No.
I know people love 300. I enjoyed 300, but fuck me, 300 is riddled with really weird race problems.
Oh,
There is some horrid shit in there.
Here we go.
Very evocative of most of Zack Snyder's work.
This is the plot summary for Moonfall.
Here we go. Moonfall, out in February?
Fuck knows. In Moonfall, a mysterious force... February 4th, 2022. In Moonfall, a mysterious force knocks the moon from its orbit around Earth and sends it hurtling on a collision course with life as we know it. With mere weeks before impact and the world on the brink of annihilation, NASA executive and former astronaut Joe Fowler is convinced she has the key to saving us all, but only one astronaut from her past, Brian Harper, and conspiracy theorist Casey Houseman, Patrick Wilson and John Bradley respectively, believe her. These unlikely heroes will mount an impossible last-ditch mission into space, leaving behind everyone they love, only to find out that our moon is not what we think it is.
I'm escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by successful box office. February!
Look at this trailer, mate. Live trailer watch, mate.
I've seen the trailer.
Oh, right.
I've seen the trailer, I've not seen it on the big screen.
Yeah.
I've not seen it on the big squen. I have not seen it recently enough to remember that it was a thing until you mentioned it just there.
Goo coming out of the moon, innit? Goo's coming out of the moon.
But before we get into our main topics of Doctor Who and Eternals, we talked about a trailer last week. We talked about Lightyear. Apparently in the old inbox, someone's got an opinion on a Lightyear. Someone's got an opinion on a Lightyear. Just so you know, who is it? Is it Sean?
Someone could have from Sean.
Hey Sean, just so you know, Sean, whatever your opinion is, if it is far too passionate, we will be judging you, because it is a kid's film.
All right, lads.
Says the two men who spent 20 minutes talking about Lightyear last week. Yeah, Sean.
Moonfall, mate.
I did, Sean. Good to see you. Nice to see you, Sean.
I was thinking about Lightyear and its place in the Toy Story universe.
Ha! You both thought it like I did.
Here we
Let's
go.
Oh God, are you all right? You sort of balled up then, like, oh Jesus.
What if Buzz Lightyear of Star Command is a show similar to what Andy watched and what the toy and the video game in Toy Story 2 are based on, and the new Lightyear film is a modern reboot of the franchise, and at the end of the film you can have the toys watching and having their remarks on the film?
I think we jokingly predicted that when the film was first announced, like a year or so ago. Because it was last year's Disney Plus event or whatever, wasn't it? It was one of the. I think it was when it was announced that this is happening. Here's the teaser image. That's another thing that's coming out after we've recorded. We'll talk about it next week.
Book of Boba Fett trailer came out that we didn't talk about.
Look good.
It looks good.
Next, it looks very Mandalorian light.
It looks like Boba Fett. Where?
There in the trailer.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad he's keeping his like black skirt and robe look. I think that's a really cool look for like separating the eras of him. I'm pretty sure we joked about that when we very first touched on Lightyear, that like the film will end and cut to the toys watching it on cable or something and be like, that was fun. But yeah, I'll buy it if we're going by the idea that Lightyear Star Command is the cartoon spin-off and this is in universe the modern movie made using the property. Sure, why not? Fine.
The Saban's Power Rangers to the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
I still
good shit in that
maintain
film,
that
man.
was a really good movie.
I don't know if it's a really good movie, but there's some good shit in there.
Not bad enough that the existence of no continued franchise is justifiable. There should have been more.
Chris,
Yes.
when are you going to watch Dune?
Probably when it comes out on home media at this rate, or rental, because where I am in terms of what time I've got left for Panther rehearsal start, unless I can fit how long is June? 3 hours? Unless I can fit that in on an off day or after rehearsals one night, probably not seeing it anytime soon.
You dead to me, I want to talk about June.
I mean, I did read the book as a kid, so you're not going to ruin too much of the events.
No,
of it
I'm
for
just
me.
saying. We did talk about it, didn't we?
Yeah, a little bit. Spoiler free.
I just want to talk about it more. Also...
Is that in Sean's email?
No.
How the hell did June come in?
Because I just thought, we haven't done spoilers on June, but then we have. It's just that you haven't seen it.
It's really weird. It's really weird that we're at a position now, compared to a year and a half ago, where we actually have too much new movie content to talk about. Yeah. This is weird.
It's weird.
This is really weird.
Sean goes on to say, also, I'd like to recommend the Disney Plus show called Only Murders in the Building!
Starring Steve Martin, Martin Short and Selena Gomez.
Yeah, Steve Short and Selena. It's a fun mystery comedy. He literally says it's a fun mystery comedy show starring Steve Martin, Martin Short and Selena Gomez.
It's also, the idea was conceived by Steve Martin as well.
Yes. It's about these three people becoming friends because they all listen to the same true crime podcast and decide to start their own true crime podcast and investigate a murder that's happened in their building. The mystery unravels in an interesting way that kept me engaged, but the first most fun is the characters bouncing off each other as they all become closer friends. That sounds like a sex comedy. Characters bouncing off each other. Can you imagine Steve Martin and Martin Short bouncing off each other, sweat dripping down their naked old backs?
You found my old fan.
Hey!
No, what I love about it is a review I saw of it, this one that me and Lucy want to binge, but I think we've decided we're going to do it in the new year when I'm back home, is one amazing description I saw. I have to. I was contracted, and also I'd like to be able to eat. One of the best descriptions I saw of Only Murders in the Building was that it's like all three central characters are the central character of a completely different genre of show.
Fabulous.
And the fun of it comes from the fact that they really shouldn't be sharing the same space, which is such a fun idea, because it's like, yeah, but Steve Martin and Martin Short, like, they're dripping, oozing with chemistry. They have been for decades. It's like, yeah, but one of them feels like they're in this type of comedy show. One of them feels like they're in this type of comedy show. And Selena Gomez feels like she's sort of the outside element who's in a different comedy show who's been brought into it. And they all work really well together. So I do want to watch it.
Is Martin Short?
The question is Justin Long?
Is Deep Roy? What?
How deep is Roy? Yeah.
How deep is your Roy? Is your Roy? How deep is your Roy?
Hey, Matt.
I really need to know.
Hey, Matt. Deep Roy was in Doctor Who once.
He was.
Segue. So, Doctor Who Flux continued this week with episode 2, War of the Sontarans.
My hat is like a shark's fin. Deepest, Royest.
Oh, right. Deepest. Oh, God. Fuck me. That was a callback to the Meg episode.
It's Deep Roy all the time now from here on as we talk about War of the Sontarans, which does not criminally star Deep Roy.
Is Deep Roy still with us?
Fuck, I've got to Google this. I've got to Google it. Deep Roy
is Deep
dead?
Roy still Deep Roy dead? Question.
What the fuck's wrong with us?
You know those Google adverts at the minute where it's like, is it okay to say this? And like, do you know the one? There's the version where people are asking each other, they're googling for the social situation, and there's the other version where it's like they've hired comedians and DJs and they're sort of like asking each other about like, do you think this about women, or do you think this about and it's those adverts are not reminiscent of what we all actually use Google for. Let's be honest. It should just be someone sat there going, that Oompa Loompa fella.
Yeah.
Is he around? Deep Roy dead? Question mark. Like, that'd be the advert. That'd be amazing.
He is still alive. He's 72 years old.
Christ.
He's still listed as active, but hasn't worked on... Oh, no, he was an Oompa Loompa in a 2021 music video.
Oh, so he's made a cameo?
For a 10 cow.
So he's made a cameo reprising his role as the Oompa Loompas from the 2005 Tim Burton Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie.
But his last
He put in the work on that film.
Yeah, he did.
He's the only person I came away from that film going, I think better of you for having been in this because you did so much hard work. Everyone else, I'm like, I'm disappointed in all of you for being in this and making this.
Yeah.
And putting this together. But you, Deep Roy, you've earned a sandwich.
I'm a sandwich, Roy. Star Trek.
I'm a sandwich, Roy. Yes, he was in Star Trek 2009. He's Simon, and I think he was in the second one too.
His last sort of big movie role was
in
Star Trek Beyond.
Wow.
And then God Came Round, which is a short film, which was 2017.
Yeah, he's got his like assistant, his mechanic, his little alien guy. Yeah,
Little alien friend.
That's demanding to be in your 60s in heavy prosthetics.
Mm.
He obviously loves doing what he's doing, or is very grateful for the opportunity to still play out and stuff. And he's like, yeah, sod it, I'm doing it. Let's go. Go eat.
He's gambled a lot.
Or really likes being paid in sandwiches.
Really like sandwiches. Deep Roy loves sandwiches. This is...
Deep Roy loves sandwiches. This is our review of War of the Sontarans. We're recording this the day after it broadcast. We are going to talk spoilers. If you're like, I've not seen it yet. It's been a week. It's on BBC iPlayer. Pay your TV license. Go watch it.
You've not seen it yet? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, pay TV license. But disclaimer: BBC, sort your fucking transphobic shit out. Anyway. Anyway, we're not advocating. We're not advocating piracy, but we are saying that there are ways to watch it if you want to make a point.
You know when it asks you a question and it gives you a yes or no answer? Say yes. Ray, when somebody asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
This makes it sound like we want to avoid talking about Doctor Who Flux episode 2.
I don't want to avoid talking about Doctor
procrastinating.
Who Flux episode 2.
Because
I'm just in a mood.
Famously, last week, our response was both kind of, this was a bit of a fucking mess, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Episode 2, I really liked it.
I didn't really like. I quite liked it.
I
didn't love it.
I really enjoyed it.
I thought it was pretty damn fun.
For me, once it got going, I was like, this is fun. Who? This is fun. Who? Like the first 10-15 minutes was like, what are you doing with this? Where's this going?
Well,
but then once it settled in, I was like, okay.
I feel like the least interesting stuff to me is, and weirdly, which is kind of disappointing because this is clearly going to be the shape of the season. The least interesting stuff to me is the Swarm and Azure stuff.
Okay.
I just don't really give a flying fuck.
Yeah, we kind of need a hint as to what the end game is.
Yeah.
For us to feel like there are stakes. Because at the minute, the only stake is, they're very powerful.
Oh, they're very powerful and they know the Doctor, but we don't. Yeah, there's not enough sort of... The mystery is taking too long to be revealed for me to give a shit about the mystery being revealed. So...
But it ends with, again, spoilers, it ends with the Doctor's best mate in mortal peril. And she's not going...
Best person.
And she's not going, what is this about? Like, come on then. You keep grandstanding, you keep appearing in my head and trying to like intimidate me. What is this about? She's not said it yet. So we don't know what it's about.
What's it about? That being said...
Is the Flux still a threat? It's talked about in this. We know that Earth is protected from the Flux.
By the Lupari. Lupari.
Yeah. The Lupari ships.
Surely it should be the Kainari, because dogs are canines, not lupines.
Yeah, but Lupari sounds like a... Lupari's a way homer.
Lupari sounds like cheap fucking wine that you can't buy, that you buy when you're underage. That's what
Lupari sounds like a fucking good night in.
Lupari sounds like a good night in.
Based on some of the horny tweets about Carvanista.
Carvanista, he's got a following.
Yeah.
I actually really liked Carvanista in this episode.
When he wrote back up, I was happily surprised.
Like, oh yeah, I like Carvanista. I actually do like Carvanista.
I liked his opening line. I've still got a human in this fight.
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant. Brilliant. And the idea that it's like, what are you doing here? It's like, we're still species bonded, you idiot. Like, I've still got to make sure you're okay if I know you're nearby.
I'm gonna start shipping Carvanista and Dan soon.
Highlights, things that worked. Dan's family.
John Bishop in general.
We actually got some time with a new main character's family early on.
And their characters came through quite... quickly.
And I do wonder, I'd love to read the script for this when it pops up on Writer's Room, because I wonder if it was down to them three and just their energy and a bit of improv. But the comedy this week, especially Dan and his family, Oh god, Dan's like excuses for why he's in the ships and stuff.
Just looking for PSN.
Yes.
Fucking great. The fact that he does it and then immediately does it again, which suggests that he's done this before.
Yeah. It's like this is his go-to line.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Like that's fantastic. Everything with Dan. The comedy in this one was brilliant. The Doctor had a couple nice little moments. The sort of pithiness of the floating triangles was quite funny to watch. Like this AI thing that's clearly just like, can you repair it? No. Oh, for God's sake! Like it's clearly pissed off. It's been asking for however long.
I love Doctor's mission briefing with a pointy stick.
Yes.
That was very good.
Yes, because like at that point it was an all hope is lost moment.
Yeah.
So it was kind of nice to alleviate the tension somewhat. Because it's only episode 2. You don't want episode 2 to feel like all doom and gloom throughout. You kind of still want to have barrels of fun before you get to whatever the big...
Oodles, mate.
And
Oodles
the
and poodles.
Sontarans got some great comedy.
The Sontarans.
But they weren't comedic.
They weren't.
They were funny in the way that the Sontarans of yore have been.
Yeah.
Which is really leaning into how unusual they are, leaning into their ego, and the fact that you take one look at them and go, are you having a laugh?
Yeah.
And then they will execute one of their own on screen and you go... No, okay, yeah, no, I'm frightened. We should be frightened. We should be intimidated by you guys. Terrible shots. I think it was a disservice to them as a threat. To the first time we see them in action, they're firing at Dan and missing, even though there's like 10 of the buggers. It's like, that's stupid. That should not have been included. They should have just been chasing after him. You know what I mean? No firing, because it makes them look like stormtroopers.
Yeah.
And you don't want that. You want them to at least feel like they're a threat. And then they go around executing Dan Starkey and... Which I know, obviously, he then played other Sontarans in the episode. And I like they seem to sort of have like a cast of 3 or 4 actors who are playing all the Sontarans when they have vocals and stuff, which is good because they are a clone race, and I like the idea that they all kind of sound similar, even if they look different a little bit, and the facial features, and the facial hair, and battle scars and things like that. I found that to be a little bit symbolic. I think that was meant to be a statement, even though like we're keeping Dan around because he's a great actor and we want him to play these roles that he clearly knows. Yeah. We're also saying that, oh yeah, this one sounds, and even his face, even the face of the one that was prisoner, the mold looked a little closer to like Strax. Yeah, it was okay, that's interesting. Like, you know, the new colour scheme, but he had the same kind of profile. Yeah, and then he gets executed, like murdered, and I think that was a statement of. Right, the previous version, that's gone now. Like this is how this lot are going to be. Don't get attached to them the same way. Like they're going to be bastards. But they just wanted to ride a horse. I love the plot. I love the fact that they're like, yeah, we have no idea what the flux is. We don't know if we'll ever survive it eventually. But here's the thing.
Here's what we're going to do.
We're going to take advantage of this panic, and we are going to set ourselves up in a couple of places in Earth's history. And then use time engines to fling our ships throughout the rest of Earth history so that Earth's history never existed and the planet was always a Sontaran, like, armory. Essentially, they're going to turn it into a battle world.
We're just going to get rid of Russia.
That was a great reveal, actually. Looking through the map, and then she's like, right, okay, so this, that, the other, Russia's just not there. And it just says Sontar.
Russia and China, I think.
Russia and China. Well, the sides of the Crimean War. The sort of the main antagonistic force against forces of Europe. Because, again, setting in the Crimean War was great, and I love how it's like, so why'd you pick here? And they're like, why wouldn't we? All of the powers are in, like, flux, because everybody's fighting with everyone. There is no clear incentive to victory other than trying to show each other up, and it ends like this.
And also, we wanted to get a historical character for the season in it, and we decided on Mary Seacole.
Which they do. There's something about the way the Chibnall era has done historical characters that I actually really like. Some of them get episodes about their life, but it's never. Like, it's not a pattern that it's always, oh, you're blah, blah, blah.
It's
oh
this
my God,
moment. It's this pivotal moment.
It's just like, oh shit, Mary Seacole, hi. Okay. Right, well, while we're here, and I kind of, that happened.
I love that Dan knows who she is.
Yeah, well, Horrible Histories, they got some controversy a few years ago, and they did a song about it.
Oh, yeah.
In one of the episodes, they did a song about Mary Seacole. Wonderful Dominique played the role. Like, she was one of the sort of members of the troupe that's like not part of the Key Six but comes in and plays roles every now and again.
Yeah.
She's also an absolute ledge. They brought her in and the song basically was saying that like, hey, you all overlooked Mary Seacole because you were all giving props to Florence Nightingale and that's kind of harsh. Like, this woman is just as amazing. And it was one of those things, of course, where a lot of gammons were like, well, are you guys denying the importance of Florence Nightingale's work? And this, that. And it's like, no, we're saying you should also pay attention to other people from that time who did equally, like, incredible work to keep people alive. She was also really shrewd businesswoman. Like, she made sure to charge money to the higher up people who had money.
Yeah.
It's like, well, bloody done. Like, that is fantastic, because she also could see, she didn't get the, like, go-ahead, the qualification to go out into the Crimean battlefields. But she was like, well, what am I going to do? Sit back in... She was in the UK at the time, so what am I going to do? Just sit back there and let people die?
All, yeah.
Like, no, I'm going to go over there, and if they're not going to let me do it officially, then I'll provide a different service. I'll provide hotels. Where people can get the medical assistance, and I can charge... I can charge the generals of that money to help me fund it and make me some cash. But also, I can look after people. Even if I'm not allowed to officially do it, I'm going to do it anyway.
Sell them rice pudding and rum.
Love that. And she was played brilliantly as well. She did it great. And it's like in Spyfall, there's a couple of historical figures in Spyfall where they don't make a thing of it.
I don't know what I mean. They do make a thing of Ada Lovelace.
Well, yeah, but I don't mean like the whole episode revolves around Ada Lovelace. No. It's like she's an element of it. And same here with Mary Seacole. It's like you sort of... You're teaching people stuff because you're highlighting a historical figure, but it's not about that. Obviously, some episodes have to be. Vincent and the Doctor, Rosa, like, you know, some should be about that historical figure. But here felt closer to something like, say, The Unquiet Dead, where the historical figure is a part of the story. You know what I mean?
What is it? Part of it!
Yes. And the gas ghosts are part of it! But I like that a lot. The Crimean War obviously is a really odd period in history. Like, the body count of the Crimean War is like 90% of the body count was down to people getting like dysentery and dying of pneumonia.
Yeah.
And starving because there's no food sent out to certain places. Like, it was the biggest waste of time and human lives in the 1800s. It was ridiculous. It was fucking stupid. And it was all because basically Russia was showing signs of getting a bit big for its boots. So every other superpower went like, well, we better show them what's what. And it's like, what are you fucking doing? Like, I'm pretty sure there's an easier way to do this than sending like tens of thousands of men at a time like out to fight in circumstances that rarely resulted in actual conflict because people were dying off before they got to battle. Just so fucking stupid. And I love that was why the Sontarans picked that period. Because they could have a fight.
Yeah.
They could take advantage of all the disarray. And also, he wanted to ride a horse. Which I love. There was such childish glee. Like, I wanted to ride a horse.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and even the dog sort of takes a moment of like, wait, what? This is why? I like the Sontaran design in motion. I'm really happy with it. Yeah. In the end, I was a bit worried, but I think they look great.
Yeah.
I love the idea that we met one last week. I didn't realise the hologram was part of their psychic division, which are the ones that found out about the flux. So they have a psychic division?
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Let's see that in a future story, please. I'm curious about that.
Yes, please.
I love the body horror of the TARDIS.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Don't know what's wrong with the old girl, but she's seen better days.
Especially when she was walking round it. And that moment where it just dawns on you, hang on, that's all four sides. Where's the door?
All four, no door.
All four, no door. And then it's still vomiting up black goo internally. And
growths.
Oh, it's so
here
weird.
And there.
I'm intrigued to find out where that's going.
I'm intrigued to find out where a lot of this is going. It's just that I'd like it to be more interesting than it is.
Vinder's got a lot of chemistry.
Like Vinder.
But he's not doing anything.
No.
Yaz, like Mandip Gill has a lot of chemistry.
Love Mandip Gill.
Yaz has become Yaz from series 11 and 12 again.
I want to see more.
Yeah, well, Yaz has become Ryan. Like, she's just asking questions and looking a bit annoyed.
I think I'm looking forward to seeing Mandip Gill and other stuff now.
Yes.
She's getting underserved by Doctor Who, I think.
At the minute,
which is a shame.
The main joy I'm getting out of her involvement in the show is watching her and Jodie in interviews.
Which is weird. Like, they clearly got chemistry, so why isn't it on screen? Why aren't you taking advantage of it on screen?
Series 6, Matt, Karen and Arthur absolutely having a laugh and wonderful to watch in the press and confidential. Yeah. In the stories, you're like, why are Amy and Rory here anymore? This is weird. Yeah. This is weird. They're not acting in the same way we'd expect them to act. It's just odd. And then you see them in interviews and you go, oh, that's why they kept them together, because they have such great chemistry.
They don't do anything with it.
They don't write them in a way that would let them do it.
Fucking
I liked separating everybody, though. That made for an interesting mystery. It was like, right, what's happening here?
Well, it helps actually give some stakes to the stuff that's happening that isn't the sort of main Sontaran plot. Which is the problem we had last week, where it
just kept cutting to other things happening.
What the fuck's this? Yeah. The Claire stuff. Oh, they run into the doctor. And then, oh, there's an angel. What the fuck's that about?
Yeah.
And then, so it helps tie it together a little bit.
There was only one newly introduced bit this week, really, that was like, what the fuck was that? Which was the big old Baba Yaga house. Although I was like, it wasn't a Baba Yaga house, but I was looking at the bottom like, come on, where are the legs? Where are the big chicken legs sticking out of that house? Yeah. But yeah, that was...
like in 2018's Hellboy.
Oh, Jesus. Oh God, no! 2019. Don't try and separate it further from us. We have to atone for the sins of that film's existence. Or like the spin-off bonus story in Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Baba Yaga.
Yep. Which turned out to be hallucinogens. She imagined the house
always
on
fucking
legs.
Hallucinogens. Like, oh no, we're telling this grounded story about a woman who raised tombs. And maybe there's some mystical stuff going on, but no, it was all hallucinogens because we don't trust the strength of our convictions, you cowards!
Meanwhile, in the first game, she fights a T-Rex. Could we get back to those days, please?
Talk about the strength of their convictions. Let's talk about Eternals.
Yay!
Hey!
So, Doctor Who, we like. Oh,
right.
Before we move on, we got a couple tweets sent in about Doctor Who specifically from you guys.
Fucking hell.
With your brains and your dreams and your thumbs.
Tweeting us. What are you doing? Tweeting us at Big Damn Cast.
I mean,
on Twitter.
twiddling their thumbs on at Big Damn Cast on Twitter.
What are you doing? Email us at bigdamcontact@gmail.com.
Alex says DW was a big improvement over last week.
It was a big improvement over last week.
Though that's to be expected when a plot focuses in on just a few strands rather than throwing everything on screen at once.
Let's do everything.
The Sontarans rode a better line between humour and threatening. I just hope that looking at the Next Time trailer next week will be as focused. Yeah, we don't really know what Next Time is. We know that Yaz is possibly about to get burnt up from the inside or whatever.
No!
Okay.
I will revolt.
I'm still enjoying Azure and Swarm, but I think that's just because
it's not that they're...
I think it's just because I've missed Panto villains in this show, and these guys are Panto villain.
It's not even that I don't like them; it's just that I don't have any opinion on them because they don't.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. You've not got enough context to care yet.
I think the performances are interesting, particularly Swarm.
And his design is beautiful. I mean, her design is beautiful. The makeup and the texture. And saying it now, Passenger has died.
Yeah.
Like, the last we saw of her was like, oh, we're going to have so much fun playing with you. And then now they have a henchman called Passenger. Like, she's absolutely trapped in that thing.
Yeah.
Also, it was funny, someone on Twitter discovered that you don't have to make a joke about, here's the version they bought off Wish. Passenger's mask is a mask you can buy on Wish.
Sure.
So the costume department just bought that and then put better lenses in it.
On Wish, of all places.
On freaking Wish.
They must have done it far in advance then.
Yeah, and it just so happens that it's now, like, a lesser price, more available or something, but I don't know.
Fuck me.
Insane. George White says, much better than last week.
Much better.
A lot more coherent. Dan is still the best thing about this series.
Yeah, I'm digging Dan.
Why has Yaz been given all of Ryan's dialogue?
Yeah.
Yeah. Eternals, no idea, not seen it yet, but don't worry about that. And Stuart says, I still prefer series 11 and 12.
Yeah.
But this series is okay. We'll see where it goes.
We will see where it goes.
We're a third of the way in, so we've got plenty more time to dwell on it.
Sorry, I just got to say one thing.
Oh?
A third of the way through. There's only 6 episodes.
Yeah, but if you look at it this way, we didn't enjoy the first episode.
That's true.
We enjoyed the second.
Yeah.
That's a 50-50 hit rate so far.
It's true.
If it carries on that, even if it carries on at that quality, that's at least 3 episodes, 50% of the series that we'll enjoy.
Better than some seasons.
So there we go. Beef. Speaking of beef, there's no segue here. We're going to talk very briefly, spoiler-free, about Marvel Studios' Eternals. We will give you a massive spoiler warning when we're going to go into spoilers, so this is more general thoughts, but please continue at your own discretion, because even knowing some basic details pre-spoilers might spoil it for you. I very actively avoided everything that discussed any element of this beyond just how someone felt about it.
You might not feel the same, and that includes you, gentle listener.
They might not be gentle. They might be really rugged.
Rough listener.
Yeah. Grainy listener.
I think the trailers did a really good job of explaining the concept and giving fuck all away plot-wise.
Yeah. Yeah. The trailers did actually feature a lot of the film. But the context of what you see in the trailer is not necessarily what that scene means in the movie.
Yes.
This film also, and again, no spoilers yet, but continue at your discretion. It plays with narrative a lot in terms of jumping back and forth.
Oh yeah.
Especially when you have characters who've been on Earth for 7,000 years.
7,000.
Like, it would be boring to not go back and forth on the timeline and explore different parts of the story and reveal more things after you've already established where it leads, and then you learn a bit more about people's motivations. And yeah, so The Eternals is the latest MCU movie. It is probably the most detached MCU movie in a while, in that I think you could watch this and not know anything about any of the others.
It's certainly the most high concept one as well.
Yeah, like the only thing you need to kind of know to get any other threads is be aware of who the Avengers are / were.
Be aware of
but you're living in the year 2021. Through pop cultural osmosis, you are aware of Iron Man, Captain America, and you also might need
about
someone
Thanos and what he did.
Yeah, you might need if the name Thanos makes you go, "What's that?" Then that might confuse you. But even then, brain power used in this movie thinking about other things from Marvel probably takes up about 30 seconds of the film total. Of a 2.5 hour plus movie, about 30 seconds of it.
It is long.
It is a long one.
I will say it is long.
Watching it today, my immediate thought after it finished was, if this wasn't a big old studio machine where they're pumping out 2 or 3 different movies a year as part of the series, this would have been a 2-part movie. This would have been a part 1, part 2, or a Disney Plus limited series.
Yeah.
I think that if it had been a Disney Plus limited series, we would have missed out on some of the spectacular fucking visuals that are in this.
It is a gorgeous looking film.
I think this is the
best. It's beautiful.
I think this is the best looking film in the MCU.
Probably not wrong. It is. The way it blends natural landscapes, photography, natural landscapes with this high concept CGI is very, very tasty indeed.
And to me, that's it. It's like this is a perfect kind of it how to sum it up without giving too much away. It's
globetrotting.
It's a globetrotter. It's a fly swatter. It's none of those things. It's globetrotting.
I'm a prancer.
I'm a dancer. I'm a Rudolph. Oh wait. No. It is. It's a without trying to sound remotely patronising, pretentious, or whatever. It's a thinking man's popcorn blockbuster.
It's a thinking man's popcorn blockbuster.
Like, it's a popcorn blockbuster that just is a little bit more kind of thought based. It's very character led. The whole film relies on you being invested in the people you meet.
It's a bit
and
Dune.
The performances.
It's high concept sci-fi that's
there
character
it
led.
It's a high concept character led science fiction movie. It still works as a popcorn flick, but the majority of the enjoyment you're going to get out of it.
Like Dune has, but
the majority of the enjoyment you're going to get out of it is from investing in the performances and the characters that you meet. They do make their lives and stakes and relationships matter enough.
Yeah.
I was worried that there were too many of them. I was really worried that, like, having that full...
I think they do a good job balancing them.
They do it really, really well by picking and choosing when people get involved, at what stage characters show up.
Yeah.
They don't expect you to come away knowing everyone's name off by heart. Like, they don't, like, hammer it into you. But you could absolutely come away from it, look at a picture of the cast and go, oh, that one's the one that does this. She likes him. That one does this. He's got a family. And that one does this. And they can do this with their brain. And do you know what I mean? It's like that everything is clearly spelled out. They don't hold your hand. They just deliver it very naturally. And oh, God, it's really fun. And fun's the wrong word, but you know what I mean. Right? It's like, this shouldn't work as well as it did.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason why it works well is it takes the grand space mythology of the Jack Kirby Marvel cosmic universe like ideas, and it simplifies it. but still leaves room for your tiny Earth brain to go, that's mad. And it's like, yeah. I mean, don't pick up any of the comics because you'll be pummeled to death by like these sorts of concepts. We are giving you the streamlined version.
Yeah.
I mean, right down to the Eternals. The Eternals of the comic book, this cast in particular, not all of them are always together. Like Gilgamesh goes by a completely different name in the comics and isn't really part of the group and has been an Avenger real briefly. It's fucking weird.
There's a couple missing in this.
There's a couple missing. The Eternals of the comics essentially have the same abilities. Like, they all warp matter and change matter. Yeah. Some of them excel in other things. The Deviants in the comics especially, like, kind of have specialities.
Yeah.
The Eternals in the comics that sort of moved away from a key group are the ones that seem to exhibit specific powers.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Druig in this, for example... in the comics, Druig's power is the same as all Eternals, but he's got a big thing about being able to sway minds and take charge of things from the beginning. And in one of the stories, he's more antagonistic in the comics. In one of the stories, he wanted to create two Eternals himself.
We'll get to that.
So he could then, from basically birth, raise them to be his perfect soldiers. Because he would have conditioned them from birth to like thinking. Whereas in this, Druig is one of the cast and is a good guy.
We'll get to it. We'll get to that.
Whereas in this, the great way to identify them in this is that they're given separate powers.
Yeah.
Like, Icarus is flight, strength, and laser eyes. Ajax is a healer. Athena can create weapons from thin air. Anything you like, and the designs of them are brilliant. They're so weird and so inventive. There's one point where she stabs at something with a spear, grabs it, and then like extra spikes come out of it, and you're like, oh, that's weird. And arguably our lead, it's an ensemble film, but we have a lead character, is Cersei, played incredibly by Gemma Chan, who does a phenomenal job. And again, like them going, we had you in another movie, but you were in heavy makeup. This is an excuse to reuse you. Like, she was Minerva in Captain Marvel. So let's reuse it. I'm so glad they did.
Yeah, she's great.
Because she's great. Basic trailer-friendly plot. The Eternals are being sent to our planet thousands of years ago to basically help us develop. Like, give us a little push in the right direction here and there, and defend us from these creatures, apex predators of the universe, known as the Deviants. Once all the Deviants are defeated, then their boss, a Celestial, will call them back in, like when the time is right, so they can go to another world and do the same. Yeah. They've been waiting for the call home for a while now, for a good couple thousand years. Not quite sure exactly what's meant to go on just yet. And suddenly, new Deviants show up, despite having been dead for thousands of years now.
What?
So the now estranged Eternals living in different places around the world with different lives. It's a getting. Do you know why I think I like this? I'm a massive sucker for a getting the band back together film.
It is a getting the band back together film.
I'm a massive sucker for that, and that's what this is. But it also is a film dwelling on humanity and what it means to be human and what it means to be flawed and what it means to be. To strive for perfection and what it means to fuck up and to learn, and whether or not you should give things the space to make mistakes, or whether or not you should, if you have the power, because again that concept's introduced in the trailer. If you had the power to like help mankind advance the moment you arrived, should you do that, or should you stay back and just give the occasional nudge? Because surely, if you help them unlock their full potential, then they'll be the best version of themselves. But you don't want to rush it. And the key rule that be given by the celestial overseer is they're not allowed to interfere in human affairs. They can nudge and they can encourage. They can't step into any human conflict.
Nope.
Unless a deviant is involved.
Yep.
So if World War II had a load of deviants loose on a battlefield, they
which
could
it
get
did,
involved.
but not the right kind.
Well, yeah. If the internet is full of deviants with the Sonic OCs, different kind of deviant, not as serious as the World War II ones, but still funny name. And it's
you think they got confused when Deviant Art was a thing?
Oh, they were like, oh my god, they're back. They're back, and they're saying that this is their Sonic OC. Please do not steal.
It's just furry dicks.
Big old furry dicks. that's set up in the trailer. Like, why didn't you guys get involved when Thanos was here? And what's nice is in the film, you're given a reason, but by the end of the movie, you realise there's more to it.
Yeah.
There's even more to it. This cast is, again, in the spoiler-free territory, this cast is...
Yeah, I was just bringing up the cast.
Fucking excellent.
Yeah, it's very good.
Very good. Spoiler-free points. Gemma Chan as Cersei. She's our lead.
Yeah.
She's wonderful. She's got a very soft, guiding presence as a lead.
Yeah.
We speculated that our lead character might have been Dane Whitman, played by Kit Harington.
Like our audience surrogate.
Yeah. No.
Nope.
He is for the first 20 minutes to get us into the basics of where everyone is now.
Yeah.
And then it ain't his story.
No. Not at all.
But much appreciated. And also, it was nice to see Kit Harington in something
I think
and be like,
really
you're
lovely
really
in this.
You're charismatic as hell when you're allowed to play out of the type that everyone's expecting you to play.
Yeah, when you're not trying to make him do Jon Snow stuff and being gruff and stoic. But
that's not to say you won't eventually get a cloak or a sword, maybe. But
we'll see.
That's not what this is about. Richard Madden as Icarus. My God.
Oh, Richard Madden, maybe.
What a performance!
What a performance!
So good.
His skunk stripe was doing an awful lot for me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Which I didn't realise that's just his hair.
Yeah.
That's just hair. There he is, and his little flick in the fringe.
Did you?
He's a beautiful man.
Did you know why his costume is designed the way it is?
Go on.
He's got he didn't originally have the sort of loin flap on the costume.
Yeah.
But Richard Madden is so well endowed.
Yes, I heard that. Yeah,
that was the only way that they could hide his enormous package.
His package was distracting.
Yeah.
So they gave him lap flaps.
Yeah, just to distract away from the penis bulge.
If anyone watched the trailer and was like, it just kind of looks like Zack Snyder Man of Steel style Superman. It's like, yeah, that's very intentional. And gets flagged in the film.
Out,
This is the film. This isn't a spoiler. It's just a bit of fun dialogue.
Yeah.
This film confirms that DC Comics is a thing in the Marvel universe.
Multiple times.
I loved that. Because that's what the comics have done for years. They've always made references to each other. Marvel films have done it before. Freaking Rosemary Harris sat in the hospital bed in Spider-Man 2002. You're not Superman, you know.
Superman. She doesn't sound that old, but she looks that old.
But,
she feels that old. Papery.
Finish it! Kumail Nanjiani as Kingo. Can we talk about Kumail Nanjiani's eyebrows?
Oh my
those things.
days.
I hope those things got a separate paycheck. They were apparently his biggest inspirations, because in the film Kingo's one of the Eternals. Let's list off everyone's powers as we go as well, so someone gets sense. So Cersei, her powers are transmutation. She can change inorganic matter, or specifically non-sentient matter, into different things. So at one point she's attacked with a bladed weapon, and she grabs it and turns it into water.
Yeah. So
she doesn't have to pull it out. It just fizzles away. And when she has to explain it, she's like, once I turned a rock into a tree, I turned a rock into diamond.
Yeah.
And I turned a rock, and it's like, okay, that's you're finding the blandest way to describe what you can do. But she's so adorably excited about being able to tell someone about it.
It's a lovely performance.
It's freaking cute. Richard Madden is Icarus. Icarus is flight, super strength, and lasers from his goddamn eyes. Also looking like an absolute snack.
Oh my days.
Speaking of Kumail Nanjiani as Kingo,
oh my days.
He is in modern day a Bollywood star.
Yeah.
The great grandson of a lineage of Bollywood stars that are all just him with a different hairdo.
Great grandson, yeah.
Love that. And he's his powers are energy projection. His chosen method of which is finger guns.
Yep.
Which he does from a rival 7,000 years ago.
And Hadoukens.
Yes! Oh, the Hadoukens was nice. Apparently he bases his performance off a combination of John McClane from Die Hard.
Alright.
With the look of Bollywood actor Hrithik Roshan. And he watched a shitload of Errol Flynn, Zorro and Robin Hood movies.
Yeah, alright.
Which, talk about the eyebrows, I'm like, yeah.
Oh my days, those eyebrows.
Yeah. Leah McHugh plays Sprite, who is an Eternal, all the Eternals, and again, I guess it's meant to be because they're meant to blend into the foundation of humanity, so they all look like different ethnicities and everything, and different accents. I love the fact they all have different accents. Only a couple of them share an accent, and it's that's a fun choice.
It's a very diverse ensemble.
It's brilliant, and again, it doesn't it's anyone who's got an issue with that needs to get fucked.
Getting to see, mate.
Because the film doesn't make a thing of it, because that's not the point. The point is, of course, because if they're going to go around the world, they need to kind of look like everyone around the world. So why not? Sprite gets the short straw, pun not intended because Sprite is eternally a child.
Yes.
Sprite is sort of trapped in the body of like an 11, 12-year-old girl.
Yeah.
With Peter Pan hair.
Young teen.
Young teen. Like at one point, Kingo refers to Sprite as Tinkerbell.
Yeah.
Sprite can sort of change her appearance, and the appearance of things around her with it's referred to as it's lifelike illusions, but some of them have like a slight physical.
Yeah.
So at one point she creates like a barrier, and it does hold something back very briefly.
Yes.
Because the illusion is solid enough. But Fastus, played by Brian Thierry Henry. I love this man. I've always loved this man.
Fastus is great, and Tyree Henry is great.
Literally, his delivery of "that's a copy" in Spider-Verse is one of my favourite things, because as soon as I remember that scene and him just being a big old embarrassing dad is the sweetest thing ever. But Fastus is great. Fastus, in modern times, has a family. Like, his husband and his adopted kid living quite happily. Completely blended in. His main ability is, I guess, like tech creation and
technopathy.
He can conceive. He can create sort of technical structures out of thin air.
Yeah.
But like his power essentially is like encyclopedic engineering.
He's an engineer.
He invents.
Yeah.
Which is nice because very early on he's like, it's an engine. It's powered by steam. They're like, they are not ready for this.
Yeah.
It's like 3000 BC.
Yeah.
It's like they're not ready for this yet. He's wonderful, and also thank you so freaking much for having some characters in this who are on the chunkier side, because not everybody's got to be a buff ting like superhero physique. That's not the point.
We have them chunky, we have them queer, we like it.
Yeah, Fastos and Gilgamesh in particular.
Yeah.
Like they're both fit, they're both trim, but they both have bellies, and I'm like, thank you so fucking much.
Gilgamesh is a thick snap.
Gilgamesh, played by Don Lee, who was my favourite. I freaking loved Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
Gilgamesh his power basically is super fucking strong. He sort of has like a little energy projection gloves around his hands, like a psychic boxer, but he is big strong boy. We also
Don Lee also Madong Soek.
Oh really?
That's his Korean name.
So Don Lee's like his stage name.
Yeah,
he's
a South Korean action star. So he's been in stuff like Train to Busan, Good, the Bad and the Weird.
Yes.
Bits and pieces like that,
Also, he was
like Korean action stuff.
What do you call it? He pursued the role in order to be an inspiration to a younger generation as the first Korean superhero, and was able to utilise his boxing training for the role. So he is a boxer. Fantastic.
Yeah, so that's another thing that's good about all the Eternals is that all their physicalities
are different
because of the different powers are very distinct. And so you look at the fighting styles of someone like Thena next to Gilgamesh, and it is starkly different and wonderful to watch. So they're easily recognisable in that sense in action scene, in like crowd scenes and stuff, because you can see the way that they all move differently.
And unlike your Avengers, where they kind of had to learn to come up with tag team attacks and everything over the course of those movies, these guys are fluid the moment they arrive.
Yes.
And their fighting styles, like you say, are completely different but complement one another beautifully.
Yeah.
The most visually interesting character of them all is Makari, played by Lauren Ridloff.
Yep.
Who character's the first deaf superhero in the MCU.
Yep. Deaf actress.
Deaf actress. Again, they don't make a thing. She just is.
Yep.
And it's fucking wonderful to see. It's like this is a big budget Marvel movie, and it's just going, here we go. She is charming as fuck. Visually, the most interesting superpower for me.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen speedsters before.
It's
the way that it's designed, the way it's lit, and the way... Oh my god, there's this one bit where she, like, creates... It's early on. She creates a sort of dust field around something, and the camera, because it's a visual effect, stays sort of just behind her leg.
Yeah.
And so you're at this low angle. It's kind of like a sports coverage angle that you would get for a race car or something.
Yeah.
And it just sticks with her for a moment, and you're like, that looks amazing. Oh my god.
I think it's great that Marvel have finally cracked how to do the Flash on screen.
Cue Tom Kavanagh leaning into a headset microphone. Run, Makari. Run.
Faster. It's the best. It's the best sort of film version of Super Speed I think we've seen so far.
It looks so good.
It looks very good.
Her Will They Won't They Boo Druig, played by Barry, is it
Keogh?
Is that how you pronounce his name?
I think so.
Keoghan.
Keoghan? Who knows?
Irish as you like.
Bit greasy and weird.
Bit greasy, bit weird, but to be fair, the character is a mind controller.
Yeah.
And they do lean into the debate of, like, how much should he interfere with people's free will to keep them safe? Because he's one of the first Eternals over their stay to sort of go, we could do so much more.
Yeah.
And the fact we aren't is nuts. Because his power is kind of a creepy power, the way they approach him is they let him be unnerving. But morally, even though his methods are weird and are creepy, morally you're like, he's got a point. He's in the right place here. And it's kind of nice for them to take a power that is ultimately kind of a disturbing power sometimes. Like, the X-Men films handled mind control quite well.
Yeah.
Like Charles Xavier and stuff, like they made it work. But in this they go, yeah, it's creepy. So he's going to be a bit creepy. But he's also one of these good guys that's arrived on Earth to look after everyone.
Yeah.
So, and again, like their chemistry, Druig's and Makari's chemistry is adorable.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's really cute. It's the proper kind of like these are the sarky little teens of the group that have got a bit of a thing and no one's noticed it. And it's that is, I like that a lot. We also the remaining two Eternals I've not mentioned are Ajak, played by Salma Hayek.
Salma Hayek being Salma Hayek.
Gender swap version of the character, which functions better for this version of the Eternals because they're kind of leaning into the maternal side of Ajak. Ajak is traditionally sort of the leader of the Eternals that we meet in the comics, like the group. Yeah. Ajak's power is like super healing, and sort of altering matter so that injury can be sort of, dealt with almost instantaneously. She just hovers her hands over a wound and it starts to disappear. She's not in it a lot, because again, it's a getting a band back together kind of film, so not everyone is in this a lot. Some of these characters aren't in the film a lot. But when she is in it, you do kind of feel like, I don't mean this in any knockdown way, you feel like mum's here.
Yeah,
you kind of feel safe. It's a very motherly presence, and it works so well. And I think that's not to say that you couldn't have a paternal equivalent with Ajak being a man, but I think as a shorthand for a film with a lot of characters, to have that visual signifier of this is a motherly figure, absolutely pays dividends. Like it's a great choice, and it's Salma Hayek. Why would you ever complain about Salma Hayek being in a movie?
She's always great.
Her costume, her like full Eternals costume is fucking great.
Oh,
as well.
yeah.
It's so very ceremonial. It looks really cool. And of course we have Angelina Jolie. Salma Hayek and Angelina Jolie have the best agents. They get the with and credits at the end. Angelina Jolie as Thena.
Yeah.
Who conjures any weapon she can sort of imagine. As like imagine if Psylocke created yellow weapons.
She is a master warrior who can create her own weapons.
Yeah, like Athena of Greece is named after her.
Inspired by Athena, yeah.
Inspired by her, and she's the goddess of war. Like that's what you are, and it's like, oh my god. She's sort of the she's the kind of the badass enforcer of the group. Like she's the one who sits back quietly. And then when the fight comes in, she's like, cracks the knuckles and is like, okay, here we go. Which is great, because again, it's just a lovely visual juxtaposition of what you'd expect. It's like the really elegant looking, like, angelic-faced Angelina Jolie, big blonde bouffant over there in the costume that's like pure white, is the one who's going to come in when they need someone to kick some serious fucking ass.
Yeah.
Is a really fun play on everything. Other characters I really want to give a shout out before we go into spoilers. Haresh Patel as Karun is fucking MVP of this movie.
Yeah, we'll get into that in spoilers.
He's so good. He's so good. Bill Skarsgård lends his voice to the deviant known as Crow, the one you see in the trailer. And has a really nice action figure. David Kay voices Celestial. There are some very unusual casting choices in mid-credits and post-credits scenes.
We'll get there.
And we've mentioned Kit Harington as Dane Whitman. Comic book fans, no, they don't go into it yet, but they're building to it.
But don't touch that dial.
Don't touch that freaking dial. I like it a lot. I know the opinion on this has been split. It doesn't seem like anyone.
I don't know why it's been so mixed.
It doesn't seem like
it's really strong.
And that's the thing. It's been mixed, polar opposites. I've not seen anyone go, "It was fine," or "Yeah, I didn't love it, but it was alright." Like, it's all, "Oh, I loved it,"
really
or
liked it.
"This is really fucking." That's the main criticism. People go, "It's really fucking dumb," and I'm like, "Is it?
Is it?
Yeah, it's ridiculous because of it." And again, critics and opinionated creators that I really admire, like people like Jenny Nicholson, and Mark Commode, and like lots of people just sort of gone like, "Yeah, no, this is really kind of missing the mark," and I'm like, "Is it?" And I'm wondering
I've never
whether
heard
or not
anyone quote Jenny Nicholson and Mark Kermode in the same sentence.
weird, isn't it?
I love it.
But I like their takes, so like, I'm surprised that they are both sort of like
takes.
Not a fan of this. It's a bit stupid, or I'm not a fan of this. It's a bit obvious, and I'm like,
A bit obvious.
I don't know. Like there is a Marvel formula, but this one doesn't really fit it in the
It's
same
the one
way.
that fits it the least, I think.
Yeah, and it's a slow burn too.
It is a slow burn.
It takes its
It is
time,
long. It is long.
and that's kind of why I enjoyed it. It felt to me, what this felt to me, was like what I think the version of, this is going to be controversial, but the film does mention DC characters, so it ties in. The version of Justice League that would have actually resonated with me.
The version of Justice League that we would have got had Zack Snyder continue with the project and finish his edit.
Or even, well, I mean, you know how I feel about him tonally. If he'd have directed it, but someone else had written it.
Yeah, I get you.
Like, this feels like the more palatable to me version of the whole idea of the... You know, in that film, you have the idea of Steppenwolf, advanced forces coming to Earth, and the peoples of Atlantis and everything already existing.
Yeah.
There's this rich mythology is in there, and you get a few flashback kind of things that establish things later and come back to the present.
Yeah.
And I hate how garish it is. Keep in mind, everybody, I've only seen the theatrical cut. Matt's seen Zack Snyder's Justice League.
I have seen Zack Snyder's Justice League.
But I hate how garish it is. I hate how it has to be, "It was a war, look at the war, and isn't everyone ripped?" And I'm like,
yeah,
this really cool, interesting mythological aspects here that I feel are being covered up in David Thewlis's face CGI'd onto a bodybuilder, like, and Steppenwolf punching things into the sky, and I'm like, you can still do action and also really play with the mythology and utilize it in a way that is captivating and kind of beautiful and mysterious and upsetting and fun, and I feel like this did that better. Like this did had the tone of this been seen in a project like that, I think I would have dug that, for example. I know that's me making a comment on Justice League, but I think this is why I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
This was a superhero movie that utilized mythology and history and let it breathe. Yeah. And didn't hide it behind fistfights. The action scenes were fantastic, but they weren't the draw. The draw was the characters and the back and forth story revealing more of their personal history in a way that, like a Tarantino back and forth edit, was very naturally satisfying.
Yes.
I recommend it. Is it one of the best one of the best MCU movies? I wouldn't put it near the very top, but it's definitely at the top end. Like it's further toward. For me, it's like, if we're doing 5-star rating, it's like a good 4-star film, very easily. Yeah. And I'm intrigued to see where this world and these characters will go. There's no confirmation yet, but for all we know, some of them are co-stars in films that have already been announced. So
it would seem to be, it would seem to be that we're going that way, but we'll get to that as we talk about spoilers!
If you've stuck around up to this point but you've not seen the movie and you really don't want to learn anything about it that will spoil it, get the fuck out now. Seriously, go away, go the fuck away right frickin' now.
Because the trailers don't spoil anything.
The trailers don't spoil a damn thing, so we're about to delve into like actual characters, moments, scenes.
Oh, mate.
Spoilers, go away now. You've had your warning. Right, here we go. Everybody dies. No,
almost.
But most of the cast do.
Yes.
A good portion of the cast get killed off.
So the biggest thing for me was...
And some of them just don't turn up for the third act.
No.
Which I kind of liked a lot.
Yeah.
It was like, yep, this is about everyone's ethics and morals. Kingo's like, I kind of agree with IKARIS, but I'm not going to hurt my friends to make a point.
I don't want to kill anyone.
So I'm literally just going to step back. You guys decide what happens now. He cowards out.
Yeah.
He cowards out, but but it's because like the ideology is. Oh, it's so. I was so pleasantly surprised by that. I was like, this is great. Well fucking done.
And they're still on good terms after all has gone down.
Because he's still same with Sprite. Like, it's... so...
They accept Sprite back. So, the big twist
if you are listening to this because you don't care about hearing spoilers, here's some context. IKARIS is the villain.
IKARIS is the bad guy. Fucking great. Love it.
Loved it.
Of course, fucking guess what happens in the cinema? The big reveal comes that IKARIS killed Ajax and started the whole thing off, and Keeks turns to me and goes, yeah, I knew that as soon as I saw the scorch marks when you first see Ajax's body. And I'm like, fuck off!
To be fair, Keeks is supernaturally
good at seeing plot twists.
She could, like... she has a calling, a future career as a script editor.
Yeah.
Because she could absolutely take someone's script and go, right, I'm going to move that out, I'm going to tweak that, and I think you need to bury that lead a little more, and don't bring that up, because I read the script, and before I got even to the third act, I knew what was going to happen. Like, she would create...
fucking ridiculous at it.
Throw Keeks at Bad Robot Productions. And be like, right, Abrams, sit the fuck down. 2 things. 1, figure out your ending before you start your story, and then 2, give a pass to this lady here, because she will make sure that your shit... hits different.
Hit.
But I love that. I love that.
Loved it.
I love that reveal.
Because I think Richard Madden does the wonderful... He's got the sort of warmth and empathy of the good IKARIS. And then it just turns it off. Yeah. It just goes cold as ice.
And yet... throughout that final sort of 20 minutes, you see that he does not want to kill his family.
There's a lot of
he really doesn't want to do it, but he's like... like, you are... oh, my God. So, the Celestials haven't sent... which Celestial is it again? It's... Arishem. Voiced by Clank himself, David Kay.
The judge of the 4th host.
Big old 6 eyes. And I love that they're so vast and they're not particularly...
They are huge!
They don't particularly move. Like, they're not very animated.
Nope.
And the closer you get to them, the more you realise that it's like a giant rock face that's just falling apart. And, oh my God, like, they are vast. And we'd seen them, obviously we've seen the Celestials in the MCU before. We saw them in the Collector's, like...
we saw the Guardians of the Galaxy flashback.
Yeah, like he shows them the stones, but the stone of power being wielded by Celestials.
But you know it's not going to be good when the Celestials are involved, because who's the only actual Celestial we've met and interacted with to this point?
Ego, the living planet. Who was the only one born without form.
Yeah.
He was a mind, and now you're wondering, is that because they knew he was probably one of the bad ones?
Yeah, maybe.
So they were like, yeah, we're not giving you a form, so he created a planet of his own. But even then, we've spent a lot of time with a Celestial before that. I mean, it's dead. And it was just its head floating through space.
Yeah, there's nowhere, yeah.
But, like, I love that the MCU is at the point now where, like, if you go into this cold, you're just like, okay, so that's God, basically.
Yeah.
That's God, and these are his angels, and he sent them to Earth to look after Earth.
Yeah.
But if you're watching the MCU and following it, you're like, right.
Okay.
So these things that we saw in Guardians, and then we've met one, who's obviously a bit deranged, turns out that Ego's plan to seed himself in other worlds isn't too dissimilar from what the Celestials do to reproduce in the first place.
The actual life cycle of the Celestials, and by extension, the universe.
Yeah, the universe that has existed for billions upon billions of years. And Earth is literally just one tiny fucking footnote in one chapter in the middle of a 28,000 volume encyclopedia. Like, it is an irrelevant speck in the grand scheme of things.
And it's also a celestial egg.
Yeah. There is a Celestial being born inside it.
And it's gonna
they take a billion years to gestate, basically.
It's not even that, it's that the reason that the Eternals are sent to the planet to shepherd the population and save them from the deviants.
Because then when there's enough
intelligent life on the planet, and it's reached enough of the Celestial that's
like the crystalline
dormant,
egg that's inside the core
that
wakes up,
uses that energy to become and emerge from its gestation.
And I like how it's not, we cut to a lot of people on Earth going, oh, like being drained. It's like, no, that's not what it is.
No,
like that's not what it does. It's just that needs to be. That's the energy field that surrounds it that lets it take what it needs and then be born. Problem is, when it's born, it bursts out of the planet that it's inside, which results in the death of every living thing on that planet.
Yep.
But that's fine as far as the Celestials are concerned, because that Celestial will then do what Celestials do. Create more worlds for the never-ending universe.
Yep. Create suns, create planets.
And that's the whole thing. It's like, no, this is just how it is. Like, the Celestials rock up. We create solar systems.
Yep.
Those solar systems flourish and do their thing. And then once every billion years, we essentially impregnate a planet.
Yep.
With sentient life on it. And then that planet will eventually birth a new Celestial.
Yeah. Well, we send in the deviants first.
Wow, well that's the reveal,
twist,
isn't it?
Like, the deviants are also a celestial creation. They send in the deviants first to cleanse the apex predators, to allow intelligent life to emerge and flourish. But because the deviants ended up running out of control because they could evolve, they created the Eternals.
Yeah.
Specifically, not to change.
Yeah.
To not evolve and remain eternally the way they were made. To kill the deviants and then shepherd.
And every time a group of Eternals is sent to a planet, they believe they've been awoken for the first time.
Sent from the planet Olympia.
From the planet Olympia is where they're from, and they are sent down to Earth. This is their first mission. Like when they first arrive, they're talking a little sort of almost robotically. And funny they are and it's their first ever mission, and Ajax is the only one who actually knows the truth. Which is, this is like your 2,000th, 3,000th mission. Yeah. You've done this for millions of years and you have no idea.
When the Celestial emerges, those Eternals are taken back to where the World Forge, where they were made, and have their memories removed and stored.
Yes, so that the Celestials can use those memories in their vast library to study the universe.
Yeah.
The Eternals are then taken to another planet aboard their next iteration of their ship, and then there's the Domo is their vessel in this, which looks like a really posh After Eight. And then they get sent down, and they're like, it's our first mission, and we're here on behalf of Arisham, and we're gonna look after the planet and look after its people, because that's what Arisham wants. So essentially, every time it's happened, things have gone to shit, and either just before the emergence or whilst everything's floating in space, the Celestial's gone, where are my toys? There, got them. Cool, okay. Put them back in there, reset them.
Yep.
Send them out later. Let's defrag them.
Yep.
The reason why it falls apart this cycle is because Ajax deals with it a little differently. She starts because the family fractures this time.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't imply that she's been aware of every cycle. It's just that she's aware that this is one of many cycles. She knows what the plan is, yeah. So the family breaking apart, when, Druig sort of quite rightly at one point is like, they are killing each other over nothing.
Yeah.
And then he just stops this conflict at an Aztec temple, which then later on, or a Mayan temple, which then later on in the end credits montage, when you're sort of seeing different bits of history, which I thought was fucking beautiful.
It is.
His is this sort of godlike Aztec structure in a museum. And you realise that, oh god, that's probably an effigy of him.
Yeah.
Like that, that's creepy.
Yeah.
Because it sort of has his bowl cut, but it's the mane of the lion. And it's that's quite funny. The family fractures, and she starts to regret it, and the thing that's changed it is the events of Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
Half the population vanished, so of course her first thought would have been, oh shit, our mission's disrupted. What the hell are we going to do? But then she sees humanity, dealing with it, and then bringing everyone back.
Yeah.
And she's like, we can't do that. Look at how incredible these people are.
Yeah.
And earlier on, Arisham makes a point of saying, do not become attached to them. Because early in this cycle, in this version of the cycle, she says, these people have got so much, and he's like, he just interrupts. He's like, nope.
No, don't do it.
Don't get attached. And she's like, after the events of Endgame, she's like, how can I fucking not?
Yeah.
Look at how amazing they are. And I'm not just talking about, this group of people in suits and capes and everything. This planet strived and survived and saved the universe.
Yeah.
How can we do this? So...
And also... It turns out later on, not the first group of Eternals to reach that conclusion.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But and not the first group of Eternals to have a connection to Thanos.
Yeah.
So on this cycle, she learns of that, just speaks with Icarus, and Icarus gauges it and is like, shit, I'm going to have to do that thing I really didn't want to do.
Yeah.
Because she, at some point over the years, as they've all fractured off, you see pockets of everyone's lives and the different lives they've led over the years.
Yeah.
And some of it gets filled into dialogue. Like we learned that Sprite mostly lived with Ajax, but then Ajax grew worried that so Icarus and Cersei fell in love and were together for 5,000 years, and for the last 2,000 they've been separated.
Yeah.
And after that 2,000 years, Ajax is kind of worried that Cersei probably needs someone to be with her.
Yeah.
So says to Sprite, could go to London, that's where she is, go spend some time with her.
She was with Kingo for a while as well.
She was with Kingo for a bit, because then that was like 200 years ago, because they fell out. And so you get the sense of everyone's lives, but in that period, Ajax has sort of grown a bit closer to Icarus.
Yeah.
They never imply anything romantic, but it's obviously that confiding thing of he came to her for comfort.
It's more of a parental relationship.
Yeah, like he came to Mama Bear for comfort, and she has gone, I'm going to be open with you. Here's why we are really here. Here's what we are. We are basically organic yet synthetic life forms that have been created for this. And when you see the farm of them at the Forge, the World Forge in Cersei's vision,
fucking World Forge, man.
They're not the same as well.
No.
Like you see down the row, and it's like none of them look like the characters we've just met.
No,
because all Eternals will look different.
Yeah.
And oh my god. And she's confided in him what's going on, because obviously the burden's there, and she's debating whether or not they need to step in and stop the emergence soon. The emergence is happening sooner than she predicted, because everyone came back at once.
Yeah.
So it was like, even if it's not like the exact amount of people that are needed, it's almost like an emergency thing of we lost half of them. They're back. Now's the time.
Oh, also,
like this Celestial's going to burst out the ground.
I imagine the Infinity Stones being involved probably had something to do with that.
Yeah, and also like people having kids during the blip.
Yeah.
People more families would have started during the blip. So when everyone returns, that might have been enough to just tip the scale. And of course, by this point, he's obviously been thinking about it and going, "No, we can't do this. We can't do this. Like if we let this world live, more worlds will not be created by the Celestial that's meant to break free from this world, and I can't allow that." So even as a baddie, his POV is there's a massive abortion allegory in this movie, and I'm not just saying that because it looks like Kill the Moon, with a creature coming out of a planet. Like there's a whole thing of you are denying life that is destined to exist. I can't allow that.
Yeah.
What's the price to pay? 6 billion lives is a small price to pay for the billions more that will be created. And she's like, "Are you fucking kidding?" But like she's finally come around to the other way of thinking and being like, "No, it's you don't understand." Like, because again, this is where the abortion allegory gets messy. It's not like we're going to kill a new life. It's no, these things have decided that this is how it has to be.
Yeah.
No, like, we don't want to kill the Celestial. We'll remove it. We'll put it to sleep. We'll find a way to teleport it out. Something. But we have to let the cycle continue without the death toll that it would bring. And Icarus is just like, fuck. And there's also, they plant this little seed of maybe he feels like he should have been the leader as well.
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of resentment there.
Like, he knows that he doesn't deserve it. And he knows he doesn't deserve it when Kingo says, like, "I'll follow you to the end," as I always have done. He's like, you don't know me.
Yeah.
You don't know me. Because even he's like, no, like, I'm not the one to be looked up to here, but I'm the one who's doing what, as far as he's concerned, and as far as Sprite is kind of concerned, though her judgment's coloured by the fact she's in love with Icarus. And Kingo believes what Icarus believes too. He's like, yeah, this world probably should die. I don't want it to. I like these people. Yeah. I like my life here, but
I'm a movie star, for fuck's sake.
I'm a movie star. I've been for 5 generations. I'm fucking famous, man. But like, it should do that because that's how everything has always been.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to fight my family, so I'm going to take a step back. And I loved that. I freaking loved that. And Druig as well. Druig is sort of on the
Yeah.
belief of like, if you're not going to let me interfere with everything, and for their own sake, mind control Earth to be less violent, maybe the cycle should carry on.
Yeah.
But when Gilgamesh gets killed, and they realise that Icarus is the one who killed Ajak,
Yeah.
even Druig's like, yeah, this is the wrong fucking way to do this.
Yeah.
Like, I will fight on the side of the argument I don't believe in, because you're doing something worse than that. Like, you are taking things even further. And there's that personal note of family between them all. Like, it's about that familial connection. For fuck's sake, Gilgamesh, like, I can't remember if they explicitly imply the romance, but Gilgamesh spends a couple thousand years caring for Thena, who essentially has the god equivalent of Alzheimer's.
Madweary.
Which is such a great fantasy name.
Yeah.
The idea that she's lived so many centuries, and they don't know that she's lived longer than the rest of them. Like, longer than the rest of them think they live. But the idea is like, she's lived for thousands of years at this point, and her mind is just kind of fracturing under the pressure of it.
Yes, too many memories.
Turns out that Madweary is actually the name that the Eternals have come up for a sensation that one of them, and they've all probably gone through it at some point in previous lives, where the mind wipe has been like 95% successful. And there's something in her that's fighting back. Namely, the memories of other planets.
The memory of another planet they were on being destroyed during the emergence.
So what we perceive as like Thena's essentially going through a form of like space dementia is actually, no, part of her is remembering the work we have done has led to the deaths of billions.
Yeah.
I have to break the cycle. And it's just the older personality of her trying to kill her teammates because she's like, I've got to stop this. I have to stop this.
Yeah.
Whereas her current personality is like, no, I want to be me.
Yeah.
And it's like, as someone who dementia runs in my family, I've seen it firsthand. That hit me like a fucking, like a freight train. I was like, this is tough.
This is oof.
And it's sort of it's disturbing. It's taken advantage of by the lead deviant, which is named Crow, more so just as a nod toward the deviants of the comics.
Yeah.
It's not Crow, but it's taken advantage of by him because like he sort of catches Thena's clearly going to kill him, maybe, and he wants her power. So he kind of like leans into the idea that Gilgamesh is in him now.
Yeah.
And sort of like, it's really disturbing because it's like you see her kind of leaning into the whole like, I'm safe, I'm looked after. And luckily she sort of snaps out of it at the last second and slices the dude's head to pieces.
Oh, that was a great moment. Yeah.
That was really, really cool. But, like, oh my god. So Gilgamesh getting killed off is... Do they explicitly suggest a romance between them or is it more hinted?
It's more hinted.
As
far as I can remember.
It is beautiful. I love that she's like, thank you for looking after me. And he's like, I'd do it. I'd do it in the next life. I'd do it for another 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years. It's so sweet. I love that Circe and Icarus had a thing that kind of fell apart, and now you realise it's because Icarus was getting an idea that there was more to this.
Yes. Yeah.
And you wonder whether, again, they don't explicitly say it, you wonder whether or not he pulled apart from her because he realised that it was going to mean nothing one day. And like it would be easier to deal with the eventual emergence by them not being together anymore. So he's almost like he's breaking the two of them apart so he can try to rationale to himself that you'll be able to deal with it more when the time comes.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he's not without a moral compass in some aspects, because at the end he realizes that they're doing the rest of them are doing the right thing.
Yeah.
But then he's like, yeah, I need to yeet myself off the board.
Yeet!
And just, like his namesake, flies into the fucking sun.
Flies too close to the sun.
And presumably dead. We don't see it, but presumably dead.
Presumably.
Because when Arishem gathers those that are around Earth at the end, he doesn't pull Icarus like...
Yeah, so let's talk about where he end up.
Yeah, oh my god. So the Deviants, this are a strain of them that seemingly survived in the ice.
Yeah.
And they've evolved still, and the main one, the one that's labelled Crow. So in the comics, the Deviants are also Eternals, but they're like the fucked up versions.
Yeah.
They're the versions that were created that were kind of like their programming was wrong.
Yeah.
So instead of being able to change matter, they've kind of evolved in these weird offshoot kind of ways.
Yeah.
and as a result, they feel rejected once they learn of their existence. Some of them follow this celestial known as the dreaming celestial. They like follow that as their god and be like, right, what do you want us to do? Some of them, like Crow, form their own factions and face off against Eternals. And their thing essentially is that they can kind of lean into their own power. Some of them took the power of like power absorption.
Yeah.
In the film, the deviants has been simplified into the apex predator form, so they are just these creatures that are sort of living sinew that can change and evolve. Some get wings, some get tails, some can burrow, some can scatter. The bug-like ones are freaking weird looking. There's that one that's sort of like a bull, or a rhinoceros, and it's got like 2 sets of lower legs.
Yeah.
And these big lanky arms.
Yeah.
And, they're so visually interesting. And the main one, the one that's labelled Crow, the Bill Skarsgård voices, it evolves to absorb the powers of Eternals. So it is the one that kills Ajak, but it's because Icarus throws her down to be killed by it.
Yes.
So he takes her healing power, which is how they start to realise that, wait, something's wrong with the Deviants. Once it absorbs Gilgamesh, it's got 2 of them, so by that point it's starting to break down the source code memory, kind of.
Yeah.
And it knows, because of what it got from Ajak,
Yeah.
that this is wrong.
Yeah.
And that it's like, we have both been created to kill each other.
Yes.
Well, I've been created to kill, you've been created to kill us. It's an endless cycle of violence. I'm just going to kill you guys.
Yeah.
So the trailers tease that that's the villain. The reason they teased it is because he ain't.
No.
It's just another antagonistic force they have to deal with, but it's dealing with its own pain.
Yeah.
And I love that. It feels pain for the deviants. You realise that, these are living creatures.
Yeah.
They have been thrown into this as well. Fuck, this is really horrible.
It's a very complex, morally complex film.
And that's what's wonderful about it, because it means the Celestials have been playing chess with the universe for forever. These aren't the first Eternals to break their cycle.
Nope.
We meet one more. So the film ends with everyone. Well, so everyone's on good terms. King Icarus is dead. Presumably flies into the sun. Makari, Druig, and Thena leave on a repaired version of the Domo to go into the stars.
The Domo, interestingly, which looks like
a really posh After Eight wrapper.
Yeah, it's a big stone triangle that hangs in the air, to borrow a phrase from Douglas Adams, hangs in the air in exactly the way that bricks don't.
Yeah. Okay. Kingo takes care, I guess he feels guilty, takes care of Sprite.
Takes Sprite in.
And leaves with...
Sends her to school. She's got to go to school now.
Because she's human now, because I think he harnessed the powers of the Celestial. I don't know if she does, based solely off the fact that what do you call it? She's pulled. She's pulled. Yeah. And again, she goes off with Kingo and Karun, who is the Alfred Pennyworth to Kingo's Batman.
Like Batman! You can actually say that. Like Alfred to Batman!
Alfred to Batman! And we get freaking Superman references, like flat out Clark Kent name drop.
I don't wear a cape.
It's like, should I call you Clark now? Is that how we're going to do this?
Love
it. Karun is amazing. He's an MVP. The actor who plays him is Harish Patel, who's been in a mix of Western stuff, but he's character actor who is like essentially a reliable character actor who's been used throughout like Bollywood and Asian cinema in particular, but has popped up here and there in a lot of British stuff, especially. Yeah. He's been in a lot of British comedy films in the last 20 years, like Run Fat Boy Run and Keith Lemon the movie and things like that. But he shines in this. He's
one of those characters
so
where
good. And I love the idea that he's been with Kingo since he was like a teenager.
Yeah.
And now he's in his like 60s and he's still looking after him.
The idea that he's one of those characters who pops up and you think, oh, he's going to be the plucky comic relief character, and the same thing with Kingo.
Yeah,
like, plucky comic relief character, and then actually has some of the most impactful emotional moments in the film, like him and Kingo leading the funeral for Gilgamesh.
Yes. Oh yeah, and then when Kingo chooses to leave, like Karun goes with him, and kind of just looks back at them and he just says like, "Thank you for everything you have done for humanity.
Yeah,
it was an honor."
Yeah,
and he's crying like he's just because he's heard these stories and he's spent time with this really funny egotistical immortal dude, And now he gets to meet these legends that he's been told about.
Yeah.
Legends which Kingo is totally fine flouting at this point because they're making a superhero movie called, like, Icarus.
The Legend of Icarus.
The Legend of Icarus.
It's the third part of a trilogy.
It was the first part of a trilogy. Because that's the whole... He's got a deal for 3 pictures.
With Kingo playing Icarus.
It's like, I'm you! What do you think of the costume?
It's so good. It's so fucking good.
Freaking Billy Humhay...
Just goes with
all
them.
the names, yeah.
And then
Fastus goes back to be with his husband and kid,
yep.
and like have their family. I love the fact that they all kind of the last place they go before everyone goes their separate ways. They go to Ajax's house
and
like
all
in the
hang
middle
out
of
together,
nowhere, and just hang out together for a bit and have food and you know. So 3 of them go off to space.
Thena Macari and
Druig. Fastus goes back to his family. Kingo goes back to making films, presumably.
Sends Sprite off to school.
And Cersei goes back to... Because she's a teacher in London. She works at the Natural History Museum and goes back to Dane Whitman, Kit Harington.
Who's been trying to get her to move in with him and is...
She's been like, now he knows she's like an immortal...
Well, he knew something was up.
He says, like, I'm just upset you're not a wizard.
Yeah. At the start, it's like, he knows something's up.
Of course he's upset she's not a fucking wizard. I've just realised what the wizard joke is. Because he says that you're a wizard, like Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
But no, it's a fucking Merlin reference.
Yeah.
Sorry,
so it's...
just hit me now. I'm like, of course he's obsessed with wizards.
He clearly knows that there's something going on, because once she won't agree to move in with him despite having been together presumably for a while, and he asks her straight up, he's like, are you a wizard? And you think he's joking, but then...
He's like, Sprite has been dropping hints.
Yeah,
like,
Sprite's been telling him everything.
Yeah.
But he just thinks he just thinks she's being a kid and being weird.
Yeah. Her thing is handled so well.
Yeah.
Because like they don't obviously go into graphic detail on what she's on about, but they talk about the fact that she's been a child for 7,000 years.
Yeah. She
has watched the rest of them live adult lives.
Yeah.
She cannot do that, even though she's exactly the same as them.
Yeah.
Inside.
Yeah.
And they really played that. The very first thing you see of her in the modern day is a girl being flirted with at the club by this guy, and he starts to get a little sort of personal spacey, and she's like, "I think you've had a bit too much drink. I'll see you another time." And off she goes. Oh yeah, she sort of phases through the
he goes
slightly.
to put his hand on hers, and he goes through her hand.
Yeah,
that's what triggers it.
And she leaves and drops this form of an adult woman. You sort of like in that moment, you're like, okay, that was a creepy interaction, but also. Oh God, yeah, of course. She can't pursue these things because she's a child.
She's a child.
Oh my God, imagine that bird. Like that's the whole thing of like, imagine being immortal, like the vampire argument. Imagine being immortal, but you're stuck at the exact age that you were when you became
Interview
immortal.
with a vampire.
Yeah. It's just like, oh my God, but here it's not a creepy Kirsten Dunst.
No. So
it's an endearing Lia McHugh, who then becomes creepy later when she's like, "Yeah, I'll be the sidekick to the villain. Let's go."
So when things are revealed to him, he takes it remarkably well, and she goes off to do an adventure. And there's a great moment where they're having a FaceTime later on, and he's like, "You sure you're not a wizard?" and she's sort of dealing with her remaining feelings for Icarus, and Dane's just like, "Oh." But
the way they use that little canyon as a bookmark to like when their relationship begins, and then where like
first sex scene in the MCU.
First sex scene in the MCU.
Very tasteful. Very tasteful.
Yeah, it's beautifully done.
Nothing below the waist.
Nothing below the waist. It's nothing gratuitous. Don't worry if you've got young kids and thinking of taking them. It's honestly, it's not gonna.
It's very loving.
It's not gonna affect them, and it's like it makes you realise. Remember, there was an argument a while ago. The Star Wars sequel series. It's like they are sexless movies.
They are.
And you're like, oh God, yeah. Like no one really like the which is why we gravitated so much toward Oscar Isaac and John Boyega's chemistry in the first one, because it was like, oh, a hint of romance.
Christopher.
And it made you realise the Marvel films are kind of the same.
Due to the presence of children in the household this weekend, I was forced to endure Rise of Skywalker again.
I'm so sorry.
And it just made me even madder that they introduced Zori just so they could pair up Poe with her and not have Poe and Finn fuck.
Yeah.
They have the lesbian kiss, in like the fleeting glimpse of look at all the representation, fleeting lesbian kiss, and then Poe and Finn are right there and they don't smooch.
Yeah.
This one get a full on gay man kiss.
Yeah.
Love it. Like not dysfunctional, supportive. healthy homosexual relationship as parents. Good stuff.
So,
anyway.
So his husband's name, so I'm just going to look it up before I forget. His husband is called...
Ben?
Ben, yes.
Ben.
And I love the fact that Ben is like immediately like, go with them.
Yeah.
Fastus is like, fucking... I love the fact that he's separated himself from all of it because he takes a look at Hiroshima and he's like, this is my fault.
The implication being that he was involved in the Manhattan Project.
Yeah. And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. But I love the fact that Ben at that moment goes like, go with them. He's like, I'm not doing it. He's like, do it. It's like, I don't like it. I don't want you to.
But you got to do it.
But it's the right thing.
Yeah.
And I love the idea that those of them that have ingratiated themselves in normal lives, like, have shared it with someone.
They have people who understand what they are, which is
the moment Icarus and Cersei rock up at the end of the driveway and he's like, oh, these are my friends from college, he says to his son, while his husband clearly gives him a look that is like, no, these are the rest of your family. Like, it's just one glance of like, you're fucking kidding me, right? Like, this is them. Yeah, I love that. But yeah, so they all go back to lives, and Cersei's having a conversation with Dane, and Dane's like, see, here's the thing, I've kind of got a bit of a family history as well. I think we should, cards on the table, we should probably talk about it. And the more discerning out there might be like, that's a bit of a cosmic coincidence, but it's like, to be fair, they both work at the Natural History Museum.
Yeah.
They're both like archaeological history buffs.
Yeah.
It's totally viable that he would have hold of an ancient thing that, and there's a reason why he's into that stuff. It's because he's studying his family.
Well, she gets him a gift, doesn't she? That's like Middle Ages.
Yeah, like, it says family insignia on a ring.
Like,
I'm a very good eBayer.
Yeah.
Well. But before he can explain himself, freaking
Asherim turns up.
Asherim turns up in the sky. Fuck me, that's so cool. That was so cool. And takes Kingo, Faustus, and Cersei off Earth, and is like, right, you say that they're incredible, this planet, and they're worth saving. Yep. You're coming back with me so I can study your memories and see the proof. And just takes them away.
And then I'm going to be back to judge the planet.
Yeah. So you're like, wait. What? So they may never go home. They might now just be taken away and be like, right, well, thanks for your memories, put you back in storage. Yep. Or they might get returned. We don't know. Like, because he says as well, I tried to find the others, but they're gone. Like, I will find them. So he knows that the Domo's out there with the other three. Let's talk about the post-credit scene. Yeah. Because that's the one with the least to unpack, really. Yeah. So the post-credit scene...
The second of the stingers.
Yeah, the one that's after the credits is Dane going to retrieve the fucking ebony blade.
Yeah, he doesn't name it.
It's
in its box. It's got the curse written on the lid.
It is wrapped in bandages soaked in blood, and when he puts his hands near it, modern day Marvel fans, you filthy King in Black fans, like, it moves.
It's like what was like living tissue. It was iron filings to a magnet,
which is a nice way to go. Look, we know that it might be symbiote in origin, but we can't do that. Yeah. So we're going to sort of give a bit of a visual nod to that, but just fucking go with it. It's like, good. Keep it separate. Cool. Please do keep it separate, for the love of fuck. And but that's so cool. And he's gearing himself up. You get the sense that he's never touched this thing.
No, he can't have done, because he doesn't...
Because he's not the Black Knight yet.
You know.
Fucking yes! We're actually doing it. So Dane Whitman is a character from the comics who's the Black fucking Knight. He's a Stan Lee creation from the timely era.
What spurred him on?
Swords and sorcery.
What spurred him on to take up the ebony blade?
Well, Cersei's
getting nicked. So
she's been stolen from Earth.
Right, well,
he's like,
time to do this.
I'm not an Avenger, but I might be able to do something. Here we go. And that's when a voice from off camera says, "You really sure you want to do this, Mr. Whitman?"
And it's not, the voice is not credited.
The voice is not credited.
But some internet research has shown that it is in fact
Mahershala Ali
playing
Blade.
Yeah, boy. Yes, mate.
So we not only have the ebony blade, we've got Blade. Like Blade's in
regular
the
Blade.
Which means the direction they're going to go, because we talked about this before the podcast. Like, I was always thinking about, they're doing Blade. Blade's not got a definitive, like, this is the film, this is what it's called, and this is when it's coming out. But we know that it's in pre-production. We know it's been in development for a couple of years. Yeah. COVID stalled it a little bit more than they were planning, but it's happening. I was always like, how are they going to do Blade in the MCU? Because the MCU is ultimately, yes, it pushes the envelope a little bit
But they're going to be doing Deadpool 3.
The old, yes, but it's not necessarily an MCU movie. Like, it's set in the MCU, but they're not. It's not part of Phase 4.
It's tricksy though, isn't it? When you start doing things like that.
Deadpool is the movie equivalent of what the Netflix shows were.
Suppose.
It's like, it's set in the MCU, but it ain't something that the kids need to watch.
No.
And it isn't going to be pivotal to any of the events of the main phase. It's just going to rely on that phase for its own jokes, its own plot line, etc. But like, I was thinking that, I was like, how can you do Blade? Because obviously Blade is vampires, horror, like, the gothic terrors that wait in the universe beyond everyone's reach, and the things that are in the shadows preying on people.
Yep.
Like, how are you going to do Blade? Well, here's a way to fucking do it. Lean more into the idea of the mythology side of the Marvel universe. Yeah. Like, vampires and demons and the Black Knight and Merlin and magic. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Blade's introduction is the continuation of the Eternal story, or Blade is in the continuation of the Eternal story, and that follows into his solo flick or solo film. Or whether or not Blade, it's not going to be necessarily Blade as a film, it's more Blade as a Thor Ragnarok kind of vehicle, where he's the central character amongst all this shit that's going on.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that.
Dane Whitman being Blade's sidekick. The Black Knight being
Blade's sidekick would be fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. That's tasty.
Mid-credits.
More confusing, but also tasty.
More
the mid-credits.
Yeah. So we've got...
We cut to the Domo several weeks after the events of the film.
Yeah.
And we learn that the plan is, for even though they're all separate, they're going to keep in touch.
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna check in on each other from time to time. Because one thing they learned from the story is, we really should have been looking out for each other.
Yeah.
This would not have happened.
They can Unimind now.
They can Unimind, exactly.
That's how they defeat
That is a ridiculous name. Look, Brainstorm. Brainstorm! So we're not calling it that.
They Unimind together, and so they tried to pour their power into Druig so he can put Tiamat to sleep.
Yeah, the Eternal at the centre of the Earth. Which is nice, because I didn't realise at the time that is a reference to an established Eternal in the comic books, Tiamat.
But so... that doesn't work, and partly because IKARIS gets involved, but also because maybe Druig's not quite powerful enough, and also it's only a short-term solution.
Mm-hmm.
So,
because in the end, Cersei has to.
Yeah, Cersei turns Tiamat to stone.
Yeah. After she realises it, because that's the thing, isn't it?
After
earlier
she starts
on,
to emerge, she's a half-emerged or partially emerged.
Deviant into a tree.
Turns Deviant into a tree.
Which is fucking terrifying. And that's when they're like, you can do that? She's like, no. But since, I guess since the thing inside Ajax, like the sort of the signal that helps connect her
she's got more energy.
To the Celestials, has given her a bit of a boost. So this is, and the energy of the emergence and the Unimind. Basically, Cersei's powers are turned up to 11,000
million, yeah.
Yeah, and she turns the Celestial Stone and uses the residual as she's coming down to give Sprite the life she wants and make her human. But yeah, so like, she turns it to stone.
Yeah.
The Unimind is still sort of in them. They're connected enough.
Yeah.
At least technologically, they can commune. Yeah. They can't get hold of Kingo, Faustus, or Cersei.
Yeah.
So as they start to worry what the fuck is going on,
because they're out there looking for other Eternals to show them
what they know,
to tell them what they know and show them the truth. Yeah,
and I love the fact as well that like the Domo now is very much who's our fast Eternal? What's her name?
Makari.
That's the one name I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
I love that it's basically sort of Makari's den. Like, she spent the last couple hundred years at the very least stealing cool shit. Well, when in the Domo,
when they turn up at the Domo, the Druid calls her Miss Havisham.
Yes, and she's like, "Are we going home?
Yeah, we're going home now."
Like, you can tell she just got bored.
Yeah.
So occasionally she like pisses off to the surface, steals some shit she likes, and takes it back, and has a bit of a den, and is just waiting there impatiently for them to show up.
She has Excalibur, not the Ebony Blade.
Not the Ebony Blade, which is that.
Well, also on the Black Knight thing, so the original Black Knight was Dane Whitman's uncle, and he was a villain.
Yes. Yeah.
They mention in as part when she knows that the world's ending, Cersei mentions to Dane that he should make amends with his estranged uncle that he's been meaning to do for us. Yes. So there's that little seedling.
Because Dane is the third Black Knight chronologically,
Yeah.
isn't he, in the comics
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
spent time. There's one who was like around in the ye olde medievally times.
Yes.
And then there's his
The
uncle who's
villain,
the
Black
super
Knight.
villain, and then he's
And his
the
name went
modern
Black
day
Knight.
one.
And then
And yeah, so they're like, we need to make some FOMO contact. And that's when something makes contact with them. Pip the fucking troll!
very, very drunk CGI Pip the Troll, voiced by Patton Oswalt.
I kind of hope, I'll be honest, that was the first effect in the movie where I went, I think you could do this better.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He looked a bit like
It's
a
a
CGI
bit too
creation.
much, innit? It's a bit too much.
There's got to be a midpoint. But then again, Thanos looks like a weird puppet creature at the end of Avengers.
Yeah.
By the time he's a main character, he looks phenomenal.
Fucking great.
So it's like, okay, give them time. But Pip the fucking troll.
Who is the hype man for?
Fucking hype man for Star Fox.
But he was not called Star Fox in
No,
this.
not yet.
Using his proper name,
Yeah.
Eros.
Eros of Titan.
An Eternal of Titan and brother of Thanos. They explicitly say brother of Thanos. Does that imply that Thanos was an Eternal?
Well, in the comics,
He's a
what's
deviant.
the haps?
He's a
Because Thanos is a deviant.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Well, there we are.
Or he has the deviant gene.
Yeah, which would explain the nature to, if not tear things apart, definitely dominate and be on top of everyone and lead. There's a pack mentality that comes with the Apex Predator thing. What does Thanos do? Attract followers that are like, yeah, I'll follow you to the ends of the universe. Which would explain the Black Order, the Children of Thanos, because they're like, yeah, absolutely. Like, we're nasty bastards, but he's the bastard we're going to listen to.
Absolutely, boss.
That's stuff that they could tease later, but I love that basically Eros rocks up and is like, hey, so I've been trying to do what you're doing too.
Yeah.
And there's some shit that needs...
I've got my Eternal Communication Orb here.
Yeah, there's some shit that needs sorting out. Let's work together. He also... We don't see any creepy pheromone emotion bending powers, but we do see that he's got a bit of a ladies' man vibe about him because he immediately flirts with Thena.
And also
it's
like,
Harry Styles, you're beautiful. And it's Harry Styles, so of course they've got Harry Styles flirting with the older woman. He looks great.
He does look great.
Very Shazam costume.
Yeah,
but I don't hate it.
They've added the cape to the Star Fox. They've mostly kept the Star Fox look intact of like
because he's had like little cloaks sometimes, but he's never had like the cape.
Yeah, and it kind of makes it look a bit less weird because the sort of skin tight bodysuit with the red and the white and the peak shoulders looks odd without the cape. With the cape, it looks more like a superhero costume.
He's not got the Wolverine hair flicks, but he has got very curly hair, very short curly hair.
Yeah.
He only gets a few lines, and I can't quite tell yet if it... And I know Harry Styles is a performer, he's an actor.
Yeah.
I can't quite tell yet if it was just a original Guardians and Guardians 2 kind of, oh, this is a really fun little nod, or whether or not this would be a good performance to be a main cast member and an ensemble cast member in a future film. But between that mid-credit scene and the post-credit scene, during the credit roll, we get the Eternals will return.
The Eternals will return.
So...
Somehow.
Star Fox is in the sequel? Pip the Troll
Who
is
knows?
in the sequel? I'm trying to think what other films we've got coming up that are space-based. It's not going to be Guardians 3 related.
No. I thought it might be.
Because I think if it's Guardians 3 related, then you're dealing with... James Gunn would have to juggle way too much. And already James Gunn is juggling the fact that Thor: Love and Thunder will have happened between them now. And, also, one of the Guardians has been taken off the fucking table.
Yeah.
Although I know Zoe Saldana's in the film. So it's like, where are they going with this?
Thor: Love and Thunder's an interesting shout.
Yeah. I don't know if they'll...
We would have known.
Well, we know... Well, here's the thing. So, speculation... Just pure thingy.
Yeah.
The Ebony Blade, we now know, was an ancient weapon that's existed like for thousands of millennia.
Yeah.
Because of the recent stuff with the King in Black, we know that it may or may not also be. No.
King in Black.
No. Listen. No. We know. This is where it ties in.
Oh, I see where you're going. Yeah.
We know that it may or may not be born of the time of certain battles and stakes and claims throughout the universe. Forget, I'm not talking specifically about the fact that it may or may not be symbiote or whatever.
All right.
But there is another weapon from that period of time.
Yeah.
That we know is symbiote, but before we knew it was symbiote.
Yeah.
We just knew it as this weapon, this blade.
All black, the Necro Sword,
The Necro
the Anaya
Sword.
Blade, Slicer of Worlds!
Which ends up in the hands at one point of...
Gore the Good Butcher.
Gore the Good Butcher. Gore the Good Butcher is
He's
great.
a very good butcher.
Not give up some great sausage. Gore the God Butcher, who we know is in Thor Love and Thunder, played by Christian Bale.
Yes.
In the comic, again, this is why I'm not getting too... Like, I'm not saying this is where they're going with it, because that's complicated as fuck. But in the comics, you know that he got that from what we eventually learned was Null of Clintar, the birth of the symbiotes, the creature of darkness from before the creation of the universe, blah, 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 blah. But the point is, they are starting to introduce ancient weaponry from, like, the dawn of creation. Like, they're leaning into that now. So maybe Thor Love and Thunder is a connection with Gore being in it. Maybe that is where the tie-in's going to be. Maybe the next Eternals related movie is going to be a Thor offshoot,
Fantastic Four.
I think that's a bit too heavy for their
They've
first outing.
Celestials though before.
True, but for their first outing that might be a bit too heavy.
That's true.
Then again, their first outing is 2024 in the MCU, and if it ain't out on the 4th of April, they're missing a fucking trick.
4th of 4th, 2024.
And they
24.
Oh my god! But if that's their first outing, that's not to say that their second wouldn't be 2026, which is not conceivably too far away to do your Eternal sequel.
Don't make me feel fucking old, mate.
No, but like that would be 5 years between the release of the Eternals, as it ended up happening, and then.
And I will be 38 years
old. Which is
old.
a pretty same age as Gemma Chan is right now. Our leading lady was a lady in her late 30s.
I dig it.
Fucking good.
In
fact, all of our big female leads, like the sort of the names on the posters, are ladies in their 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Yeah.
Well fucking done. Biggest well done, of course, to Chloe Zhao, because holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, this film looked fantastic. She was the story... she was the lead screenplay credit.
Yeah.
On a story... based on a story that was conceived by Ryan Firpo and Kaz Firpo, both of which also have a writing credit alongside Pat Burley. It takes a lot of... not plot inspiration, but certainly tonal inspiration points from Neil Gaiman's Eternals miniseries from 2006.
Yeah.
And tell me you weren't proud as fuck when at the end it was like inspired, based on the comic creations by Jack Kirby, and that was the solo fucking credit.
Yeah. Comic
credit. Because, like, obviously a lot of the ones we've seen so far, Jack Kirby's been co-credited, and, like, Steve Ditko's been co-credited, and, you know, Simon and Schuster, like, people have been co-credited here and there. You know, Len Wein, everybody, like, people have had credits here and there, but Stan Lee's been the recurring one. I think this is the very first one where it has been based on comics created by Jack Kirby, full stop.
Yeah.
And it's like, that was really cool to see.
King Kirby.
Jack the fucking King, smoking his cigar like a motherfucker, just chomping down on that bastard, churning out 85 issues a day, like his life depended on it.
Love it.
Even when he didn't have to meet freaking deadlines, he was just working on shit.
Yeah.
His own shit that he would then go, hey, DC!
Yeah.
Print this, call it New Gods. This guy's Dark Side, and this is that, and this is the fucking granny goodness. It's gonna be great. Oh, you don't... Oh, I'm not allowed to carry on? Cool. Marvel, do you remember me? Do you remember I made you a shitload of money? I've got this idea. It's called Celestials and Eternals. Let's go. It's just like...
Oh, you love to see it.
Love to see it, and I love to see it credit to him. I really dug it.
I really dug it.
I want more, but...
I want more,
but I'm happy to wait.
Yeah.
Like, we've got plenty of things in the meantime. Did you notice that the Vision graphic in the Marvel Studios logo at the beginning, that WandaVision bit they've used in the last few productions, was gone? It was Shang-Chi. It was a close-up of Shang. So we're starting that phase now of, these are the stars
These
going
are the
forward.
new people. These are the new peeps.
These are the new peeps. Don't read their Reddit history. These are the new peeps.
Cersei, Shang-Chi, Black Knight. That's an Avengers lineup I can get behind.
Oh my god.
Ms. Marvel.
We're getting Avengers lineups from like the 80s when no one was buying the fucking book.
You'd love to see
and
it.
we are excited for it. This is so weird.
You know what I'm excited for? The end of this podcast!
Yeah, you gotta go home and get some food, man.
Yeah.
Have you seen Eternals yet? If you've listened to all of this, I fucking hope you have.
Yeah.
BigDamnContact@gmail.com. Let us know what you thought. We will also accept tweets in the form of cash, or cash in the form of tweets at BigDamnCast. You can support the show monetarily, keeping it on the airwaves, and the more support we get, the more extra features we're going to start churning out in the new year. Patreon.com/BigDamnCast. And above all else, you can make us proud by just looking after yourself, our kid.
Make Daddy proud.
Don't say that.
Ha!